All right, welcome back everybody. Well, this week we're going to go back to 1975's album Physical Graffiti. This is Houses of the Holy by Led Zeppelin, not to be confused with Houses of the Holy, the album. We're just going to write a song called Houses of the Holy, and we're just not going to put it on the album called Houses of the Holy. We're going to hold on to it, and we're going to put it on the next album, whatever that was. But great rock song, and super great example of mixing major and minor pentatonics. And I'm going to take you through all of Jimmy Page's great parts on this, on my Les Paul. All right, well, if this is the kind of thing that you like and you haven't done so yet, please jump down, click subscribe, ring the bell. The bell will tell you when I drop new content. I do that every single week. All my videos have chapters in them. You can jump right to the part of the lesson that you want to see and bypass what you don't. And if you're looking for other ways to support the channel, I appreciate that. Thanks. Just like throwing a tip in the tips jar. Or even better, you can join my Patreon page where I've got chord charts and tabs for all the lessons I do on YouTube, just like this one. And if you're looking for cool merchandise, like maybe the math formula that always computes the correct amount of guitars that you should have at any time, like the amount of guitars you should have is the number of guitars that you have today, plus one. All the links are down in the description below. Okay, well, Houses of the Holy. All right, so let's just get right to it. This is standard tuning. I think on the record, they might have slowed the tape down just slightly, but let's just call it standard tuning. All the details of my signal chain are going to be below. But let me tell you a little bit about what is an important part, I think, of the tone here. And so you want to have a little bit of overdrive, not a ton. You sort of want to have a lot of clarity. So I'm rolling my volume back to about 7.5. I'm on the bridge pickup. I've got a little bit of overdrive on my ODR1 running into my Marshall Studio SV20. However, there's an important sonic thing that's happening on here, and I'm really not sure exactly what was used to do that. A little bit of research seems to say that there's a little bit of a delay, just a slight a few milliseconds delay doubling going on. So I'm taking my digital delay, my DD8 from Boss, and I'm turning the time almost all the way down. So for example, here's the that's without it, and here's with it. Here's it without it. And with. Trying to approximate that sort of tone. So I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with that for our lesson today. And right, so we're in standard tuning, and let's just go right into sort of the opening riff on the song, okay? So we're gonna grab the A power, sort of the A cowboy chord position. You're gonna lay it all the way across. So if you actually strummed all the strings, it would give you that A6 sound, right? But so the way we're going to position our hand is grabbing that, and we're just going to hit hard on the 5th and the 4th string. You can see over my shoulder where the fingers are, right? And give it 2 big stings all the way across, right? So that's the main groove, right? So there's a little bit of a change as you go through that, right? So the first time, same for the second. Now the third time, you're going to do this alternate. Right? And then the fourth time. And then to our E chord. All right? So I think we all know how that sort of goes, right? So on the intro, that's how you're doing those parts. What we're going to see very soon right after the first verse is when it goes back into that pattern, we're going to break it and we're going to start playing little leads in the middle of it. And excellent lesson on major pentatonic leads there. But for the intro of the song, it's just that. And we're into our verse. So, great. There's one time, the very first time he plays this riff on the verse, and these riffs on the verse are great. They're super loose and they're super fun to play. You're just bouncing back and forth between G and D chord triads, and you've got some open strings running while you're doing that. The first time he does it, he's going to play just down here in the first position. And right before you lead into that, you hear this, that little pickup into the riff. So here's what I mean. Right before you go into that sort of G. So the first time he does it, he's right down here in first position, and it's sort of hard to tell if he does that or if he's doing or both. But that's all in first position. But you're always letting that D string ring out, right? Back to your E. Now, pretty much every time after that, for the entire rest of the song that's playing the verse parts, you're going to come up here and do this now, which is even better. So instead of playing the pickup here, you're going to slide up and you do it on the 6th and the 5th string up there. Because the way the chord pattern is from now on is... Ready? Right? It's that G, D, G, D, A, back to E. Isn't that cool? So, back to our riff. So, anyway, interesting. I actually never knew he went all the way up here. But very clearly you can hear these notes. And he's just cascading it all the way down. All right, now we're back to our riff. We'll call this the interlude section, okay? So on the verse, the way the structure is, you've got your verse, which we just did. You've got an interlude, which we're going to do in a minute. And then you've got a second half of the verse. The second half of the verse, let me show you that part first. It's the exact same thing we just learned, except there's an extra measure on the end where you sting a bunch of E's. So. So that little is an extra, when you look at it, when you count out the measures, it's an extra measure that they put in there. So that happens every other, think of it as every other verse, all right? Verse, interlude, verse with the extra beat, or the extra measure, and then that happens 3 times. There's a total of 6 verses in the songs, okay? But let's talk about these interludes, because they got cool little leads that are happening in there. And each one of them is a little bit different, but they all vary on the major pentatonic scale. So let's talk about those. So the first one, when we're in our interlude, it's that little thing, right? Yeah, so that first one is very cool. So this A major pentatonic scale, many of you know, it's all in this position. It's all around this. Think about that A chord right there. It's sort of very major sounding. So he's just barring his finger on the second fret here, where you've been all day long, and he's just playing the riff right on top of that. And they're all going to be sort of variations on that. Is that first one? We're back into our verse, right? So full context of that. Verse format again, right? So that's that one. The next interlude, he plays it a little differently. Let's just get into it. Right? So that one is now introducing that. But again, it's all major pentatonic. Love that. So Jimmy. You play that fast, it's so fun. The next one's super fun because he starts it like a beat earlier than the other one, so he plays a little longer, right? But putting that in context. Love that. Slowly. Again, all right in that box. Super fun. All right, and then it just repeats. The next one after that is a little shorter because he starts the riff just like a hair later. Just a little, and that's it. He just started it a little later, so the riff is shorter. And then the last one, I think, is almost like the second one, something like that. Anyway, those are those little riffs. Happy little major sounding riff. Just greatness right in there. So let's move it along right to the outro and the guitar solo. So the guitar solo in this song is not in the middle, it's on the out. It's on the outro of the song. And there's one thing on the rhythm guitar that happens that's a little interesting. You hear this sort of tone where you hear this, that open, like an open G note ringing against the riff. Right? But you hear this. It's almost like he's playing it this way. Right? That. And I'm not convinced that he's playing it like that. It almost sounds like it's an effect. But would love to know, all of you sort of page nerds, if you know, like, what is the effect? Like, what is the effects that's on the song, and what happens on that little part? Is it just an overdub of a G note, or is he actually playing it as the... Would love to know. But you can approximate it, by just fingering it like that. And you're only playing the 5th, 4th, and 3rd string. So if you want to get that sound. So that's running underneath the guitar solo for the rest of the song. And it's very cool that it's like that, because he introduces that puts the sort of dominant 7 sound part of it, so it just makes it screaming for the minor pentatonic A. But you're gonna see he's gonna oscillate again between the minor pentatonic and major pentatonic in this lead. So he opens up this lead with as that is running in the background. The lead guitar just comes in with you just hear him come in with an open A, and I can't tell if it's just the A string or if it's an A and an octave up there. But I'm going to go with the octave just for fun. We're going to start in the minor pentatonic position now up here, which is the exact same fingering, exact same pattern that we learned on the major. And you slide it up 3 frets, so it's right up, your root note is here on the 5th fret, on the A. But we're going to start with a big bend on your big rock star bend on your 3rd string there. Is the first little lick. I'll try and slow that down. And then he does a very Jimmy Page minor pentatonic run. Right? I love that little. That's a very Page thing to do. All right. And then he just moves it, and there's a little bit of stumble that's going on, but he moves from that position, just moving across the scale. It's that, but he's doing a pull-off. So the first part. Very quickly he moves it down here. Right. So if I had to slow it down, and as soon as you hit that, he goes right to a major. Right? And then he's going to do a big pentatonic rock at that position, and he's going to slide up to the 5th position, the minor, and do the exact same thing. And then he's going to slide all the way up here, and we're going to go to our major pentatonic that we were down here. We're just going to go to an octave, but he slides. He does this little. I'll just slow it down and play it cleanly. He does. Is what he's doing. So. And ending on that little major pentatonic. So let's go slow all the way up. And then he slides it down 2 frets. Back up. And the very last bit of the fade out, you hear this? All right, let's just pull it all together. for the outro. Fade out. Okay, because I'm a nerd. All right, boys and girls, that was Houses of the Holy by Led Zeppelin, and I hope you learned something new today. If this is the kind of thing that you like and you haven't done so yet, please jump down, click subscribe, ring the bell. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this, and let me know if there's another song you want me to take on and do something similar. And until next week, take care, everybody.